Good evening. This is Authorized, United States Magistrate. Stanley Matthew Secret on 18C2, concurrence 12C869. You know, I do have to bring some factors into rule. One being that, well, it's not just John Wright conducting these hits and the Federal Bureau of Investigations on me over my authorization as a U.S. Magistrate. Fact of the matter is, it's also the Stevens family. Cal Stevens made several visitations to Dana Durnell's using his daddy's truck at 1086 Goa Way Road. You know, Cal Stevens don't own anything that he didn't steal. He's idolized me his entire life, to the extent that he's even used my identity to sign my name on checks from PCH, which, like my law enforcement Chris Hatzel pointed out, PCH is the victim of fraud and forgery. I'm the victim of mail theft. Steve Magny of the Hagerstown Police Department was handling that report. Now, why was I authorized? We'll go over that real quick. Rosetta Lynn Elshaff sold me .89 Murphy lot, located in Hedgesville, West Virginia. See, in November of 2000, there was two bills of sales, one for the home, one for the property. Well, the Stevens family and the Wright family got this ingenious idea to take and what? Help Rosetta out. Yeah. See, they didn't want me owning property. Just like they didn't want to take, and as a matter of fact, it was Cal Stevens who called in the Veteran Supplemental Order Reserves Network, and that's why they're the names on the original warrant. Now, here's a factor. The Veteran Supplemental Order Reserves Network did a lot of heinous crimes. And Cal Stevens even took and put Marco Delgado here at 136 Broadway, apartment 3ER, into stealing my mail, by which he got a hold of checks from Publishers Clearinghouse and cashed. And that is how Marco Delgado got the money to open up Smart Rat on Dole Highway. But back to the subject matter. See, when Rosetta Lynn Elshaff found out that I gave that home and property to Carolyn Rickard, she threatened to kill Carolyn Rickard and burn the home down with her entity if she didn't comply to an additional $1,500 of money by which she embezzled through force from Carolyn Rickard. Now, I called Lieutenant Hall the other day and pointed out these factors, as well as the factor that, you know, Ernie Salvachard admitted that Cal Stevens forged my name on the title of my car that he sold to them. Publishers Clearinghouse told me, after I explained to them what was going on, and that the check that I did receive said it was the final payment of $10. They said they was going to reference that check and that I'd be getting a lot more. Imagine that. I'm sure Publishers Clearinghouse has dealt with fraud and perjury. Well, yeah, fraud and forgery more than once. It ain't their first rodeo. Jerome Powell, did Cal Stevens defraud you and forge documents to steal the $9.5 million you have of mine in the Federal Reserve Bank? Because you know the Federal Reserve Bank of New York is still responsible for that $9.5 million amount. Now, you know, I was pointing out, well, you know, Dawn Marie Buzzard was a bank manager, so you know she's going to clear the checks for Cal. Now she's working in Berkeley County schools. Imagine that. And Jim Justice, what involvement do you have in this? And Angela Garcia, I did want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for subscribing to Divorce for Grandchildren. But I need to point out some more factors. Angela, You're the administrator over courts. When a death is involved, federal criminal rule comes into play that removes all administrators and all other judges in the courts. That gives me authority even over Chief Roberts of the U.S. Supreme Court. So I did call the U.S. Marshals yesterday and explained to them that they need to start addressing it. They said, okay. And I hung up. After I called the other ones, but like the other one said, they're not the District of Columbia. My warrant was received by the District of Columbia. Imagine that. Angela Caesars. Oh my, all these Angelas in the court cell. Love it. Then I have this Chris Hatzel messaging me saying that my brothers and sisters in law enforcement need assistance with setting up a foundation for my brothers and sisters that are true to protect and serve, asking me for help. You know what I told them? Tell you what, brother, you help me push this case, you contact the courts and help me push this case and get the justice that is deserved, and I promise you, I will help you. Because I'm a man of my word. I speak nothing but the truth. Cal Stevens even had a teller done here take and message my daughter, Christina Jenkins, and tell her that I watched child pornography and used a video from when I was in college. See, I went to college to become a FBI cyber agent. So these are all facts people need to know. And when I went to college to become a cyber agent, we had to understand what made an individual commit the crime. That's forensic psychology. So they had classes on the individuals with child pornography, human trafficking, and domestic battery. It wasn't videos actually of child pornography or human trafficking, nor of domestic battery. It was of their surroundings, their role models, what their beliefs were, why they justified the crime that they committed. I don't even watch videos. I'm always doing a video either on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, once in a while Twitter, but Twitter's nothing more than an overrated Instagram. You can't have friends there. It's either follow or follow. So Twitter's really a crappy app. All BS aside. Facebook is a lot more advanced than Twitter. Imagine that. Even YouTube. Because I've got subscribers on this channel. But back to the subject matter. I was authorized when Rosetta Housend threatened to kill Carolyn Ricker. And that's why I was authorized as a U.S. Magistrate. Fact of the matter is, Cal Stevens and the Wrights wanted nothing to do with me getting my clemency. So they had Dana Janelle and Veteran Supplemental Order Reserves Network intercept Operation Payday, and they gave one of the members of the Veteran Supplemental Order Reserves Network my truck that was supposed to be awarded to me. I'm not saying who. I know who. But fact of the matter is, Jim Justice, Shelley Moore Capito, Joe Manchin III, y'all are guilty of negligent murder of Matthew Jacob Secret. You see, Lori Stevens, Cal's mother, was dating Grace Silvers III, and they had Grace Silvers take my son Matthew from me and put him in a foster home, where he died from medical conditions. Because the foster homes, most of the foster parents in West Virginia don't even have a high school education, let alone know how to handle medical issues with children with special needs. So those are all factors that need to be addressed. But again, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I'm almost out of time. I wanted to point out the facts. I am a U.S. judge. And brothers and sisters in law enforcement, you need to share this video. And y'all need to contact 202-354-3000 and speak to Mr. Howe and tell them they need to be expediting 18C2. And those of you brothers and sisters that do and help me get this case done, those donations you all need help with, I'm going to need tax write-offs. So, I'll be able to give you those donations as a tax write-off. As far as Steve Magny, you got a problem, brother. You know, they overlooked Marco Delgado trying to kill me on December the 8th of 2019. Then when a clown officer came by here, Carolyn Ricker told him. She witnessed it. Oops. But yet they still haven't charged this clown. You see, the Stevens and the Wrights have been killing off all male descendants of Rosetta Housend over Mary J. Wright's estate. I believe it was Bob Wright, or maybe it was Kenny Wright, that took and helped steal the piece of land that was beside my property that the Stevens family has. And David Wright, well, John David Wright's actually living on Mary J. Wright's estate right now, which they're planning on keeping at all costs. So, no, I don't do drugs. Sorry, Don. You got to explain how those checks cleared your bank. That's forgery and fraud. Well, stay tuned. You don't know what I'm going to be doing next.